Welcome back to my channel. So, was it last weekend?
Yep, exactly 1 week ago today.
Last weekend we went to Starbase Indy, a Star Trek convention held in Indianapolis since 1983, I think you said, right?
Might have been 86.
86.
Something like that.
Yeah. We've been there a couple of times. This is my first time going in a wheelchair, though. Still wearing the same Starfleet uniform I wore last time we went.
I did not get to wear the same Star Trek uniform because I lost mine last time I went. I think I must have accidentally left it behind the hotel, which is really disappointing. So I wore a different thing. It was a dress I bought at a thrift store that I ironed on like the Starfleet emblem to make it look like a Starfleet uniform. Very comfortable still, but I kind of miss having the official one.
Well, the official one you had was a scant, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it had like the pips and everything, so I got to be your commander. Yeah. The one I, just modified from the thrift store. I didn't add pips or anything to it. So how did it compare this time versus last time?
It wasn't quite as fun as it was last time. Mainly because I still can't efficiently use my wheelchair to get around because I only have one working arm.
I thought it wasn't as much fun as last time since there aren't as many people, there's not as many special guests, there's not as many, things going on. It's a smaller town than it used to be.
Like, I couldn't just decide I want to go to the vendor hall to look for what they had. Because the time you brought me through, at the angle I am, because I'm so low to the ground, I can't see what anything is.
Yeah, I don't think it's your angle. I think it's that your vision is messed up from the stroke.
That too.
Because even when you're standing, you have trouble seeing things.
I have multiple problems.
Also, we had the problem that by the time we made it to the vendor hall, like half of them had already packed up. It was supposed to be open until 6. We got there like 5:40, 5:45. So, like, we weren't going to have much time anyway. Maybe we should even 5:30. But anyhow, I think a lot of the vendors had already given up. So we didn't get to see everything.
The last time we were there, we went to a room party. That was fun.
We went to a room party this time, too.
We did?
The Klingon room party.
I don't remember that.
Kaylin. You don't remember going to the Klingon room party? We had the curry.
No. Oh, I remember that.
And we took pictures with the batliths and things. Oh, the group that we saw was called Geeks in Gears, and they're based in Indiana. They're a saxophone band, and they did a bunch of Star Trek and other nerdy themed music.
And they did a sing-along with a song that if you ever listen to Dr. Demento, was a popular song on that show. Anyway, Star Trekking across the universe.
On the Star Trek Enterprise under Captain Kirk, Star Trekking across the universe. On the Star Trek Enterprise under Captain Kirk. And then they asked for volunteers from the audience to sing like the lines of the crew members. And they needed 5 volunteers, and 4 guys stood up to volunteer, and they're like, we need one more person to be Uhura. So I'm like, oh, I guess that's going to be me, because they only had male volunteers so far. So I got to do Uhura's lines. So that was fun. what was it? There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, Jim. Something like that. And it was especially fun since Geeks and Gears, for their final song, they were going to do a collaboration with the Klingon Pop Warrior, who is a singer who sings in a Klingon costume. So she was sitting there. So like we actually had a Klingon right there to feel threatened by.
On the Starship Enterprise under Captain Kirk. We'll be going forward because we can't find reverse. Now we have Lieutenant Uhura. I'll key you in.
There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow.
Yay! Star Trekking across the universe. Only going forward because we can't find reverse. Now we have Montgomery Scott. You cannot change the laws of physics, laws of physics, laws of physics. You cannot change the laws of physics, laws of physics. Vitamin D, shoot to kill, shoot to kill, shoot to kill. Vitamin B, shoot to kill, shoot to kill, man. What? So now he's dead, Jim, dead, Jim, dead, Jim. It's worse than that, he's dead, Jim, dead, Jim, dead. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it, not as we know it. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it. Lifetime.
Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow. They did Over the Rainbow in Klingon.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't that nice? I really enjoyed that. I sang that song in like middle school choir, so it has happy memories for me. Not in Klingon though.
Yeah.
But it still is good in Klingon. It was maybe better in Klingon.
Klingon Pop Warrior has their own YouTube channel, I think. So if you're gonna hear their Klingon covers of American and British pop songs, they're actually pretty cool. At their concert, they sang Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper, but in Klingon. It was really neat.
So our first panel was an interview. The interviewer was Moxie. The interviewee was Mary Chifo, who played Chancellor L'Rell in the first 2 seasons of Star Trek Discovery. So that was the Klingon Chancellor. I enjoyed hearing her stories.
Yeah.
About how hot it is in Klingon costumes. I should really do a Klingon costume because I'm always so cold, and that would be perfect for me, something that everyone else complains is too hot. But she mostly was talking about her training at Juilliard. Apparently she had graduated from Juilliard just the year before being cast in Star Trek. So how they did a lot of hands-on, like in costumes, crawling around, physical things, how that propelled her well to be in Star Trek.
Not the kind of thing you expect from Juilliard.
Apparently that's part of the Juilliard training, is be ready for anything. At least that's what she made it sound like.
To come see, I graduated from Juilliard, and a lot of the people in LA hadn't seen me in any of the shows in New York. And luckily, one of those people was Brian Fuller and his partner Scott. And at the time, he was captaining the reboot. He had pitched the general premise of Discovery, and was signed on to be the showrunner at the time, and was looking for basically a someone to help with a good vessel for the redesign of the Klingons. And that was essentially what I ultimately was hired to be. Was they were like, well, we want to see what like the female Klingon will look like. You're 6 feet tall, you have classical training, you're good with language, you know, all these different physical, like the Juilliard training, and also the CBS casting had come to see my Juilliard showcase as well the year prior.
She had a short film that she and her friend did.
Okay, you know, it wasn't just any friend. That was her girlfriend.
Her girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah. And her partner, Maddie Goff. We saw the short film they made. It stars them and Terry Farrell. And it's a rather cerebral sci-fi, is she dead or isn't she dead type thing.
Yeah.
So we had a discussion afterwards, like debating, is Maddie's character dead or not? I think she's dead. Kayla thinks she's dead, but a lot of people thought maybe she's not dead.
I mean, is she or isn't she? We're wondering whether or not the main character is imagining her girlfriend being alive again after she'd already died.
Yeah, the name of the short film is Every Morning.
It's like a time loop dream.
Yeah, it's very much, is this a dream or is this a time loop or is it both? We also went to a panel where they played the documentary about Nichelle Nichols, which is Women in Motion. It's available on Paramount, and then we talked about her after. Oh, one thing I like that I don't remember them doing the last time we went is like having the food. Do you remember how they were serving hors d'oeuvres in Rick's, the area behind the hotel restaurant?
Yeah.
And we could sit down, chat with other con-goers, and guess. What we heard from the person who was a vendor is that they were not making enough money at the vending hall. And then I'm like, well, we didn't buy anything at the vending hall because everything was closed by the time we got there. I don't know if we would have bought anything if it weren't closed because I just didn't see the things that I wanted to buy. Which is the other problem, that maybe like the wares that they're selling are not necessarily what people were looking for. At least that was the case for me. For Kalen, he just can't see what he's looking at.
Well, and in most conventions, I rarely buy anything in the vending hall because most of the vendors are selling small homemade things, usually jewelry or stuff like that. That or collectibles. And I don't collect collectibles, so.
There were some people selling like their original art.
Whatever.
Yeah. But we also like just haven't been doing good about putting art on our walls. We have art on this wall, but like none on that wall. So Kayla, next year, would you want to go to Starbase Indy again?
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe we should do it the whole weekend. This year we only did the Saturday. We did it as a day trip, so you wouldn't have to stay over in the hotel. But maybe next year we can think about getting a hotel room and doing
Well, I hope by next year I'll be walking again.
Oh, yeah, at least with a walker or a cane. I don't know that it will make that much of a difference for you, though. Like, there was nothing you weren't able to do because you were in a wheelchair.
Other than if I want to go somewhere else at the con because I'm not interested in a panel or whatever. Usually what happens at a convention, when you're in a panel that I don't think is interesting, I go off to the vendor hall or to chat with other people
Oh, and this way you're just stuck with me the whole time.
because I can't move myself around in my chair.
This is Maggedian, our other new kitten. Since Grendel got to be at the tag of one of our other videos, thought we'd bring Maggedian in for this one. She's the softer of the two, but also a little more skittish. But what happened there is she saw a tournament to go kill it.